Alright, YouTube. Honkai Star Rail. People are popping off about it. As some of you may know that have seen some of the videos I regularly post, I still upkeep with Genshin, so I thought, you know what, I'll give turn-based Genshin a try, see how it is. I came in completely blind to this one, knowing that it was basically a turn-based Genshin with a lot of the layout and everything kind of still similar, but they changed the names of things and stuff. Like, for example, let's see, if we go into the characters, for example, right? So I'm not up to a point where I've unlocked gear yet, for example. I cannot level my units past level 20 Ascension, and I think this is something I wanted to talk about in a little bit about why I'm even making the video. So it requires Trailblaze level 15, right, to ascend a character. Light cones are essentially your weapons for Genshin. Traces are your skills, right? And then these Eidolons are your constellations, right? So a lot of similarities between Genshin, right? They've taken what they knew works for Genshin and they've applied it to a turn-based, essentially what is a JRPG game. And I like JRPG turn-based games, right? I don't mind them too much. And yeah, that's kind of where we come into, I've come in, give it a try. I'm not too sure how I feel about it just yet, because it's Honkai Star Rail, and I feel like so far with the story, I'm up to like the first planet, and I feel like plot-wise, I've kind of been thrown in to a story that is like a third of the way through already. I feel like I'm missing a lot of context on certain things, and I'm hoping that it fills me in as the game continues, right? Because I feel like a lot of people, because I didn't play Honkai Impact, right? And certain people that I do know that have played it seem to be in the know on certain things, as far as like the context of the world, the planet, etc., right? Or the universe setting and all that kind of jazz, right? That it hasn't really fully explained to me yet in the story. So I'm still kind of umming and ahhing about that, seeing how I like it, if I do or not yet. I'm still fresh into the game. As you can see, I'm only like level, where is it, like 14? 11, level 11, there we are, for my trailblazing. And yeah, it's been okay. As for like graphics and audio and stuff, seems really nice so far. I've been enjoying that. And combat, something I want to talk about here was actually, unlike Genshin, where it's kind of like, obviously Genshin's a lot more active. You can run around, dodge around and stuff, more third-person action combat, right? Whereas this being a turn-based game, they didn't even give us a jump for the overlay. I got no jump. I'm hitting the space bar, there's no jump, right? So I'm a little sad about the lack of jump. But in combat itself, it's over in Genshin, it's like I'm fighting a bunch of HP sponges when it comes to the difficult content, right? Genshin, not really anything difficult, right? I don't die in Genshin, ever. Nothing kills me, especially now that I've got Dea. I've got Zhongli shield and I've got Dea. Nothing kills my teams anymore, right? So, it was a little refreshing to start on this game, and then you get to, so the normal fight's simple, right? So we're talking like early progress, very early game progress. The normal fight's pretty simple, right? Really basic. Let's see, if we go to Databank, I think here, we have a look at enemies. So enemy creatures, right? So you got these like simple Reavers, I think, yeah, the Reavers, the Eliminators, the Distorter, basic enemies. And then you get like your first boss, which is one of these Tramplers. It's like a little mini boss of sorts. And the dude's actually a bit tankier, and he hits a lot harder, and he gets these extra turns where he'll attack, and then he might follow up with like a trampling attack that hits everyone. And then he might follow up with he starts pulling his bow back, right? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot you with my bow, yeah. And then after like I'm not gonna say like a turn or two exactly, but then after a little bit, he'll like unload on you, right? With his bow. And I kind of want to talk about those fights as well as the Doomsday Beast, because what I have seen, I actually lost a unit on one of the not like the first mini boss guy, but like there's a couple of, what they have is when you're in like the open kind of world here, is they have these well, you see these are enemies up there, right? And you kind of, it gives me very like Final Fantasy 12 vibes, except the auto combat and everything works a little bit differently. Like in Final Fantasy 12, you can set up exactly what skills you want to be used and when, kind of like they have like this system in Final Fantasy 12 where you can oh, how do I explain this? Where you can like essentially give, you can set a certain amount of orders, and then the entire game can be played just by moving your joystick around, right? So like at a certain amount of HP loss, it can use this skill, or when this type of enemy appears or is in existence, you can make it use this skill. Yada yada yada, right? I won't go too much into that because I can't remember it properly off the top of my head. But essentially, it reminded me a lot of that, where you've got like these overworld enemies that you can run up and start to attack, right? You get a jump on them, ambush, like you can ambush them, they can ambush you. These skills here that you can use before you attack the enemies, pretty cool. I like this little feature. Like if I was to use this skill as a buff, she is going to attack as soon as we engage the enemies, right? Or if I use March 7th skill here, she'll like try and freeze people or whatever. So there's a lot of cool stuff when it comes to engaging them to get like an ambush kind of bonus on your enemies and stuff. I do like that a bit. And anyways, with these particular mobs, right, these elite mobs of sorts, as well as the early game boss that you first encounter, I have actually been seeing people die. So myself and my partner have been playing this game, and I almost lost some units, but thanks to a little certain someone that I like to talk about, March 7th, right, which is actually the core focus of this video, and the whole point I'm even making it, I was able to skirt my way around and cheese these more difficult fights that I just went into with like level 3 and 4, 5 characters without, like, I didn't level anything up and stuff properly, and then all of a sudden, like, wait, why did my unit just get one shot, right, by the Trampler? Or Doomsday Beast, I think he killed somebody with his second phase. He shoots down a whole bunch of little lasers, he shoots down a big light show of lasers and hits everybody, and I had like a level 1 in the team and it died. But thanks to March 7th, I still pulled out through the fight, right? I still pulled the fight out. And I kind of want to talk about March 7th here, for the most part, because she's absolutely goated for the early game progression, because one of her skills does a shield. Now, I also want to jump back to it for a second. The light show thing, this game, I feel like if I worry about anyone that's epileptic should be careful of this game, because holy crap, it is dangerous. There's like, even I normally don't mind light shows and stuff, but even my eyes are like, dude, I need to look away for a second sometimes, like depending on who's using the skills, right? So just something to watch out for if you decide to look into this game. Anyways, I want to jump into March 7th here, because she is, like I was saying, she's absolutely goated. And I kind of want to talk about how you can utilize her shield to kind of get away with just getting through the early game if you're having some difficulties, right? Now, let's see. I'm going to use this particular attack, and then let's engage with March 7th here, because she's got the bow. It's just easy to get over there. Now, certain enemies here will force a target on somebody, right? And what I want to talk about is how to utilize March 7th shield in a relatively good way, so that you will definitely easily get through these, you can just cheese your way through some of these fights. So these particular units, if you see this little symbol above this unit, then pretty much everyone's going to target this unit, right? And let's just use this skill quickly. Kill that. Let's see. I'm just going to single target these quickly. Now that we have March 7th selected, her E skill. Now, what I would recommend in almost all situations, if you don't have this target above your character, right? About like, what I'm trying to say is, sorry, I recommend putting the shield on the character that has the target on them. If there is no target on anyone, then I recommend putting the shield on March 7th instead first, because then you protect your character that can shield your other characters, right? And just make sure that she stays alive and well. And what happens is, let's actually use her ultimate quickly, just so we can pew pew, right? Ta-da!
Let's make it quick.
This poor guy. Yeah, we're gonna slap these guys. He'll attack her, she's shielded, and when somebody attacks the unit that is shielded by March 7th, or at least, I think it's only if it's her shield, I'm not sure if it's whoever, like anyone that's shielded, like so if I had another unit that did shields, I'm not sure if March 7th would automatically attack, because again, I'm not too up on this game just yet, right? But what I did discover was that you can just cheese the heck out of pretty much all of these early game kind of fights, including the big beast fella as well as the tramplers, by utilizing her shield. Now let's see, let's just use this ultimate quickly. Single target, go pew pew, big chicken, the big chick, slaps him around, right? So let's get rid of this guy, get out of the fight. Oh, there's another one. Okay, okay, I see how it is.
No manners, huh?
Bounce. There, you can see the target's gone now, and essentially now there's no target. What I want to do is put a shield up on the actual character that,
let's go,
you know, is the one that does the shielding. Now this is mostly for, now what I'm talking about here is like for super, like this is for the early game progress, is what I'm trying to talk about here. Where you encounter these particular mobs, like the elite tramplers and the, where are we? Yeah, so like the Void Ranger Trampler, these big guys here, right? The elite versions of them or whatever, as well as this Doomsday Beast. My partner got wiped out by the Doomsday Beast and died to the second Trampler she encountered like 3 times before I took over, and I was like, here, let me do it for you. And then I, of course, cheesed my way through things using March 7th shield. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about. I'm exploring the game a bit, you know, playing in my spare time, and I thought that, you know, this game actually is a bit more difficult than Genshin. I do like the apparently it gets a lot, the difficulty spikes after the first planet. So like the part that I'm up to right now, when I go to, let's see, if we go Star Rail map, right? So this planet here, apparently the difficulty spikes further after this. So I am kind of looking forward to seeing how difficult this game gets, because Genshin isn't a very difficult game, right? So for me, a turn-based game with if the story is good, I'm still waiting to see how I feel about that. You know, I might wind up replacing Genshin with it, because I kind of just jump on and do dailies now for Genshin. So for this game in particular, right, if there's some more strategy involved, if the fights are actually more difficult, they take a bit more skill to do, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Now I did summon, by the way, so these warps are the summons, and the unit that I got was the Ice 5-star so far. So I got Japard. You can see I've got like 1 more times 10 to do. I just need 4 more regular tickets. I've got 7 of these limited tickets, and I haven't decided if I want to even try and summon on that yet. I might just wind up saving all gems and all that kind of stuff and try and go all in on somebody later instead of going for Silly. I know everyone's talking about Silly's really cracked and stuff, but I'm thinking maybe I just save my stuff if I do continue playing the game. Then I can just go all in on a 5-star later, and it is what it is, right? One of the newer ones, you know, like how you save things in Genshin and you summon, you go all in, and yeah. But so far, characters, you know, I've got my Traveler, or my Trailblazer they call it. I do plan on using like the fire tank version of him, so I'm not too sure what I'll do with this ice tank guy just yet. I have found that even though I had this guy, his E ability, he can put a shield on everyone when you enter the battle, and then his ultimate also shields. But what I found is actually March 7th was much easier to utilize, because her E ability, like her skill, puts the shield on whoever you want, and then she'll counterattack and rather than waiting for his ultimate to use a shield or having to use a pre-buff ability, so like one of these E skills, before going into a fight, I found that using March 7th shield was actually just more effective, at least for now, in the earlier game, right? So he's kind of been sitting on the bench while I just play around with these 4-star units, see who I like, who I don't like. And yeah. Ooh. I actually really like Serval. She's got like a guitar, an electric guitar. She throws out a bunch of AoE electricity. She looks a bit like Fischl. I'm not a big fan of Fischl, but I do like Serval and her guitar. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I'm going to cut it there. The video is already longer than I planned to do it. Just, you know, if you're having a little difficulty with the early game progression, try utilizing March 7th shield. You know, put it on her first, or put it on whoever's targeted first, and you know, just try and make sure you use your skills, right? You know, your Q to build skill points. That way you've got skill points to just keep using her shield every time it comes around, and you'll be able to easily, even if you haven't like leveled them up to 20, because that is the big thing right now, is that because you're not Trailblazer 15 or able to, and you only have, if I was to try and enhance this, I've only got like 32 out of 40. I could plus 20 it, get a bunch more stats, but it's like, I don't want to waste my resources, right? I want to get as far in as I can, try not to waste resources on that. But like I was saying, you can't actually ascend these characters until you're like Trailblazer 15. So, and that's like level 20 to 30, right? So, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit, oh, and no gear yet. Gonna be a little bit, right? Before I can, really consider myself strong. Oh, and when the gear does drop, apparently it's better to focus on flat stats for now. So we'll see how that goes. Just, yeah. You know, gloves, apparently, flat attack, more damage, pew pew, enemies die quicker. Anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.